Hey, you guys, good evening. We are live. I am so sorry. Next week, I will definitely get better at my timing. I know that last week I said I was going to be on here at 12 o'clock, and that did not happen. So, like I mentioned, my goal is to come on here live and do like a live training, answer some questions for any of those that are able to join in live during that period. But I figured I would jump on now. I just finished training for the VIP group, and it was a really good night. So I just wanted to come in here and chat and talk about a scenario that I had with a client of mine, right? So in the course, I have some new students. Hey, Maya. I have some new students, and there's a lot of people that's in the phase of finding their cleaners, and they're getting their first couple of clients, right? And I had a student like in panic, which is understandable. Her cleaner was a no show, and she was like, "Oh my god, what do I do? It was a no show." And I'm like, well, first, calm down. I know that like when I first started having my couple of no shows, and a no show is basically if you schedule the cleaner for the job, and the cleaners assign this job, they know they have this job, right? And they just are no show. They do not show up. They do not call. They do not text unless it was an emergency. Okay, I can understand the last thing they're thinking about is calling me on their emergency. They're considered a no-show, right? Then you'll get the client calling like my appointment was at 3:30 and nobody's here. Then we get in a panic, right? We're like, especially when you're new. When you're new, I used to overly compensate. Like this is like some like right in the phase to where I was no longer cleaning and I had full-time cleaners doing all the things for me. I would end up showing up and doing the jobs because I was just so worried that I was going to get an upset client, that they're going to leave a bad review, that they wouldn't want to book anymore. And I was just super overcompensating, super over pleasing. Now, of course, years later, I don't do that, right? I of course apologize, but the best position to be able to be in is to always first feel out the client, right? I said like call the client, right? This is what you want to do if you have a no call, no show, is contact the client, um, or the most likely the client's going to call you. And then when you are speaking to the client, apologize, right? Because see, they're human and they understand as well. It's not always a situation to where they want a refund or they want their money back, refund, money back, same thing, or they want a discount. The best thing to do is just find out when you can reschedule the cleaning. Now normally what I like to do is if my VA is kind of already checking in to see who is there and who is not, then I will know um kind of how to map it out, because I'm already checking with my other cleaners to see what their availability is, so I can try to get somebody in there as soon as possible. But if you're not privy to that information and you're getting called out the spot like, hey, my name is Mr. Smith and I had a cleaning appointment at 3:30 and nobody showed up, right? You're going to want to, of course, apologize and then reschedule. Don't always assume that you have to provide a discount, or don't always assume that the client is going to want a refund or cancel, because most times they do understand. And it took me a long time to get that. I used to always fear like they were holding, reviews over my head. Like I would try to do any and everything for somebody not to leave a negative review, because I understand the consequences, like the rollout effect that happens with a negative review. Somebody else is going to try to book, they're going to read that negative review, and they're not going to want to book me. I literally had a job one time where like we like closed out the client, we sent her the booking lead, and then she was like, "Oh, I just went back to read your reviews and I saw a review that I didn't like, so I actually want to cancel." So when you guys think that people are not looking at reviews, please trust that they are looking at reviews, okay? Um, but don't allow them to like threaten you, or have that over your head. The thing that you want to do is to just reschedule, just sympathize with them, listen to them, understand their frustrations, right? And just find the next available date. and reschedule. Now, yes, you can offer a discount, put that little icing on the top. I would love to offer you 10% off, 20% off for your inconvenience. Because I understand that you had your appointment at this time, and I do apologize. And I want to do 20%. That was just out my mouth. I would do I would do 10% off. Okay. And then I would just apologize and reschedule. Now, the way to try to prevent this, that way you can stay ahead of the game, is to check in and communicate with your cleaners the night before and even the morning of. I use Booking Koala for my appointments. So on Booking Koala, I have it set to where at the end of every night, the cleaner will get her schedule. And then at that moment is when I ask them to contact us if anything changed last minute and they're no longer able to go to any jobs, right? Then in the morning time, the VA will send out a text message reminder of their appointments and ask them again to let us know. Now, if we don't get or hear back from the cleaner either the night before or the morning of, right? Not like a couple minutes before the appointment, but like literally that morning, then we are already starting to look for a backup. Okay. If we cannot find a backup, then we're contacting the other cleaners to try to figure out who has the next closest availability. Jot down all the days and times so that way you can be ahead of the game. Because the client is not really upset that the person was a no call, no show. The client is really upset because they blocked out that time for this service. And if I would have known, then I would have just, changed my plans. Like I canceled something to be here, or I moved stuff around to be here, or I'm not where I would like to be because I'm here. Right. So it's just really a matter of respecting the person's time. That's all they're really concerned about. Now, unless it's a situation to where, like, let's say they have an event or some big thing, or family's coming into town tonight and I needed my house cleaned today. Well, it's your fault. You planned too late. But anyhow, it's really a matter of us trying to respect their time, right? So if you can be ahead of the game by just doing those two things, checking in with your cleaners the night before and the morning of, then you will be ahead of the game, right? During when I'm onboarding the cleaners and I'm letting them know our expectations, my biggest thing that I always tell them, and I know to always stress this because I've had this happen to me a lot in the beginning. I've had so many no-shows in the beginning. It was the most frustrating thing ever. But I would just always say, like, look, I understand emergencies. I have all the kids. I mean, I only have 3, but I understand emergencies. Emergencies pop up all the time. And if you are not able to make it, I'm not going to fire you. I'm not going to, stop assigning jobs to you if you're not going to make it. I understand that. I would respect more if you can let me know. And I don't even need a full explanation. Just let me know you're not able to be there. So that way I can start maneuvering around and contacting other cleaners to get that job done. Right. So I can be ahead of the game and let them know, like, okay, hey, Mrs. Smith, I know your appointment was at 3:30. So-and-so is not able to make it. I do have a cleaner that could be there at 5 or at 12 p.m. Would any of those times possibly work best for you? If not, be like, okay, well, I have, the following day, these other days available, right? And you can kind of just feel out the client. Are they perturbed? Are they frustrated? Then, that's when you can put the icing on top and offer them 10% off for the inconvenience. But it's so much better to be proactive versus reactive, right? They will just respect you so much better because then now we're showing them that we respect their time and value. And this is also another reason why, like, you always want to be hiring. I had on the call tonight, one of the new students, one of her cleaners just quit, right? And this cleaner I think they just had like 3 reoccurring clients for next week. So now they're in a panic mode to hurry up and find some new cleaners to service those jobs, or either they're going to cancel or reschedule, or if somebody's going to go out there and do them, right? But now she's in a panic. So you can't get comfortable when you get your first cleaner or when you get 2 cleaners. Like, hiring will always be a part of your business, no matter what stage and area that you're at. This is why corporations have full HR departments, right? If hiring was not always going to be a continual practice, then they wouldn't have a full HR department. They'll have, hiring seasons. So we want to make sure that you don't get comfortable with however many cleaners you have. Always be hiring, because you want to make sure that you have a backup for backup for backup. You don't know if they're going to get sick, their car break down, flat tire, late, whatever the situation is. You always want to make sure that you are continuing to hire and putting new cleaners on your staff, so that way when emergencies pop up, you'll have somebody as a backup. So that situation is always frustrating when it comes. So I talked about like how you can handle it, like when it comes and you're kind of just blindsided by that situation, and then the steps to put in place to try to be ahead of it and not reactive to it, but be proactive to it. So I know we have a couple of people that's still in live. Let me know if you guys have any questions about that part. And then I wanted to talk about this too, because late last night, I had got a email from Stripe, and if you guys are in the Facebook group, I had posted this in the Facebook group, but I had got an email from Stripe saying that I had won my little dispute case that I had to file, right? So I had a client that filed a dispute in August, but like the job was done in May, okay? And I remember this like client, like once I even got the email, I don't know why Stripe emails like late at night, but I got the email late at night. And once I saw that, I didn't even remember the client's name, but I knew exactly who it was. I remember my VA having to report back to the situation. And basically the situation was the cleaner showed up to the house. The client booked a regular deep cleaning job, but the cleaner showed up to the house and it was a full-blown heavy-duty clean. Like there was so much trash you could not even see the floor. Okay. Now this is an expectation that I overly stress to our cleaners. Like if you ever show up to a job and that job is worse off than they selected, then you need to notify us, because they need to pay to actually have the actual service rendered that they are wanting, right? They can't pay for a deep clean and it's a heavy duty. At the end of that job, y'all, the cleaner sent me a picture, like sent me a personal picture of 9 big black trash bags, like lined up by the garage. 9 big black trash bags of stuff, of like just trash and stuff that he removed from that house, in 9 big black trash. Not like the kitchen tall bags, you guys, like the outdoor heavy duty trash bags of stuff that they removed from this house, right? So just off top of the pictures, we knew that the service that needed to be provided was not going to be satisfied for a deep cleaning. Okay. So the cleaner contacted us and they're like, hey, you guys, I'm at this job. I believe this is more than a regular deep clean. They send the pictures. And then once they receive the pictures, we're looking at it. We determine, okay, yes, this is more than a heavy duty. Because sometimes cleaners will assume that a deep cleaning job is more than a regular deep cleaning job, but it actually is a deep cleaning job. But sometimes they, it's just different. Because of the area that we service, we don't normally deal with a lot of like hoarder and nasty roach infested kind of houses, right? Our deep cleaning could be like, they just want a good job on the baseboards and the windowsills and door frames and all the things, right? So when they roll into this house and they see this kind of house and they're like, oh my God, like this can't be no deep clean, because the deep clean I can see the floor. But no, it is actually a deep clean, right? But that was a whole nother level. So after the cleaner sent us the pictures, we did, determine that this is more than a heavy duty clean. Then we contact the client. Okay. We use a company called Open Phone service, and they have an option to where you can voice record your conversations. So that is an option, but you always want to make sure you have some kind of way to document the communication that you're doing with the client. Okay. So once we get the pictures, we contact the client and we're like, hey, hey, Mrs. Smith, we just received notice from the cleaner that is there that the home is going to require much more service than just a regular deep clean. in order for us to continue with the level that you're wanting, we would have to increase your price by this much, and this would be your new total price. Please let me know if you would like us to continue, right? Because what will happen is if the cleaner just does the job, okay, because this has happened before. If the cleaner just goes in there and do the job, and then the job is done, and then the cleaner will call us and be like, hey, you guys, that house was so bad. That house was not a deep clean. That house was like a super heavy duty clean, and they need to pay more. I'm like, well, what do you want us to do now? We don't have no consent. We haven't checked in with the cleaner, with the client, to even make sure that they wanted to pay more. That's not a situation where you just go do what you want to do, and then we have to contact the client and be like, hey, we end up providing you a heavy duty, not a deep cleaning, so we're going to charge you. No, that does not work like that. We have to get a consent from the client, or I would not have won that case, right? So we contact the client. They're like, okay, yes, I'm okay with the charge. I did figure that it would be an additional fee because the house is in bad shape, right? And like, he had broke his leg and he was in a cast and he was not mobile. And so he, gave us the whole story. So we understood, right? But it was really bad. 9 trash bags worth of bad. So after we got off the phone with him, I said, okay, awesome. I'm going to send you a text message to your phone confirming the new price, and that you agree for us to continue the service at the new price point. If you can just reply back and say, yes, you agree to the new price, then I will change your price on Booking Koala, and you won't have to provide your new card. It's already on there. It's just going to change your price to the additional service. Okay. So we send the text message. He responds back. The cleaner does the job. Okay. May, June, July, August. 3 months later, he wants to do a request to get his money back, saying that the service we provided did not match his initial price he paid for. I'm like, sir, yes, it did. Okay, so I was able to get all of the screenshots and upload them in like this little document thing and submit it to Stripe. It's September, so we got that notification in August. So it took about 3 to 4 weeks, but I already knew that we were going to win the case because I had the proof, right? And then not only that, at the end of the service, we have them sign a signature on the Booking Koala app. And then there's like a little small disclaimer saying that this signature confirms that you are fully satisfied with the job. You have 24 hours to notify us if you would like to have a reclean of any specific areas. So I had all of that, right? Now, it would have been real bad. I would have lost that case if my cleaner did not, one, notify us beforehand and just cleaned, or if he would have notified, we didn't get like any written consent or like any kind of verbal response from him. And if we did not have those pictures, we would have totally lost the case. So we end up winning the case, and then the funds, because like when you get a chargeback on Stripe, they will take the money out of your account. Okay. They will snatch that money out because the bank will give the customer a temporary credit while the investigation is done. And after the investigation is done, whoever favor it is, either that amount they'll keep, or that amount will come back to my account. So then I received notice that, hey, congratulations, your case has been won based upon the information and proof that you've been able to provide. So this is why it's so important on every level. I talked about the cleaners with, no call, no shows, to always express your expectations with them on policies and what to do in the company, and then what will happen after that's not done, because that would have been a loss, like a major loss. And then I had to determine, like, man, do I let this cleaner go? Because like, he can't follow what I'm asking him to follow, right? He's a good cleaner. Like, I would be really upset, but that situation, I would have lost a lot of money. And then the chargeback was done so late. I had already paid him for the job. So not only was I out the money of the marketing dollars that it took to acquire that client, but I'm also out the full cost. You know what I mean? So you always want to make sure that you have those kind of expectations and policies put in place to cover you guys on every end. Let me see. I have some questions in the comment. What do you do when you already have a Gmail address on your marketing materials? Like versus a business address, I would say create new marketing materials. I mean, I would create new marketing materials with your new email address, and then once you run out, I mean, like you can keep both and operate out of both, and maybe put like an auto replier, so if anybody is emailing you to that old address, have an auto replier. Say, thank you so much for reaching out. We so appreciate you. We look forward to providing you with an awesome service. We have moved homes and you can now reach us at such and such, such and such. And when you do so, there's going to be a nice discount waiting for you, right? So that'll give them the incentive to like, hey, you went this far, go all the way through and contact us on this one. So that would be like what I would do. Hey, Jasmine, do you use Booking Koala Sign? Yes, I do. When it comes to updating the prices and getting that consent, yes, I use the booking. I use that as like for everything. Like that is a part of our exiting, because we've had too many situations occur to, like it's like that saying, like, first time shame on me, what is it? First time shame on you, second time shame on me. Like you will create new policies and procedures based upon your experiences. So we just had too many experiences of things that just occur, or things that the client will be like, well, I really, no, that wasn't the situation. And no, I wasn't happy. Like, well, you signed for it. You signed for it. And then you signed the disclaimer, said you had 24 hours. So don't call us a week later being like the floors aren't swept. Well, have you been walking on your floors? So yeah, I use that feature for everything. And then like also that disclaimer. Do you recommend Cash App? No. Do you background check on cleaners? Yes. So I do not recommend Cash App. Cash App is not a suitable way to collect payments, even though Cash App now will take taxes out. But Cash App, you're too vulnerable. First of all, you're too vulnerable for customers to easily request a refund, right? I mean, I don't have no experience with Cash App, but they are too it's too vulnerable for people to request a refund. You're also too vulnerable for scammers to recreate your cash tag and slightly make a small change, and then now people are taking your payments. I mean, it's the craziest thing. So I would definitely recommend having a business bank account. That way, also, you can leverage all of your revenues that you're making in your cleaning business to build business credit, to get access to business credit, to, do other things in your business, whether it's your cleaning company or starting other businesses based upon the revenues that you make from your cleaning company. Background checks, yes. I use a company called Checker, and I think it's like $29 or $24 per one, like per like background check I do. Any other questions? I see we have a couple people live. Any other questions like about what I just talked about, or anything within the cleaning business? We have our challenge that is starting on October 7th, you guys. And right now it's currently on sale for $97 if you're interested. The course will teach you all the way from step A to Z and beyond. And this $97 price point will be ending on October 6th. I'm making some changes. I'm adding some new courses into the academy. Like last week, we had Mila come and teach us how to do Airbnb cleaning, and oh my goodness, she does like 1,000 cleanings a month, and she was giving us so much information. And then this Friday we have somebody come to teach us on commercial cleaning. So if you guys are interested, that $97 price point will be vanishing on October 6th, but definitely get into the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group yet, please do get in the Facebook group, because I share so much information in that group as well. Do you teach about subcontractors? If so, do you teach how to, yes, that is just how I run my business. Now I don't, and I don't know. To me, I feel like I don't know if this is like the Webster differential difference of a subcontractor and a contractor. To me, I feel, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, please do, like, let me know in the comments. I feel like a subcontractor is like, let's say I get a contract, or I get the leads, and then like I totally give them away to another cleaning company to do those leads, where like I no longer manage, service them, try to, upsell them or have them become recurring clients. I feel like I consider that to be subcontracting, or versus like having an independent contractor is me working with a 1099 contractor, even if they have an EIN number, and they are servicing my clients, like the clients that I want to keep, house, maintain, grow, upscale, convert to reoccurring clients. So I teach based upon using like the referral agency model, to where we find the clients and we find the cleaners, and then we marry them together, and then we take a percentage of the difference, right? So if you pay your cleaners 60% and you keep 40%, right? That is like the contract referral agency model that I teach off of. Do you use a website? If so, can they book on it, and can they pay through the website? Yes. That is a big difference in the services, in the service, local service-based industry. I We use Booking Koala as our booking platform. They also have like a front end website that you can use, or you can have an out that you can use WordPress, like Theme Street has links. We sell like a cleaning website template, and that one is based off of Wix. So the point is to be able to have them book instantly, like no matter the time of day. We get cleanings booked at 2, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, when nobody is in the office, like when not all the VAs are not servicing anybody right now. So that is the best part, to be able to have a website to be able to take payments and book instantly, versus having to provide a quote, or having to for them to call in for an estimate, or having to email for an estimate. There's too much delay and wait time. They could have moved on to somebody else by then, to where if they're interested, they're ready, like, find what is your house size, what do you want, and then click what you want and pay now. So I love doing that. Hey Ava, how are you? Can you ballpark how many cleaners you reach out to before you officially hire your first cleaner? No. I'm so sorry. It's so weird. Like, I was working with a done for you client, and she has two locations in Tampa and in Orlando. Okay. Tampa location, I literally reach out to maybe, where's my paper? I even have it set up over here still. I literally reached out to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I literally like reached out to 5 cleaners. So of course the ones with the scratch out, like they were no. And then like the first 2 cleaners, like they responded back to me, and I hired them both. Now that doesn't happen all the time. That definitely does not happen all the time. That was just a very good, favorable day. We're like Orlando situation. We've like been probably contacting cleaners for the past 2 days. So it's really no like luck of the draw. It's really a numbers game. And it just so happened to be like that day was just an awesome, favorable day. My like number scenario, like you may reach out to 100 cleaners, 50 will be interested, 25 will have all the things you're looking for, and 10 will actually follow through with the application, and you'll hire 3. But those three will make a huge difference in your company. Okay. My first year, I had, well, I think I had 5. But like that was towards the end. Like when I started making really good money in the beginning of my cleaning business, I had 2 cleaners, and that was it. And they worked they butts off. Okay. Like making some crazy money. Let's see. How can we learn about the Airbnb you just spoke of? Is it covered? So that option is in the gold. In the gold package, the gold package is $297, and with that one, it comes with the Airbnb commercial cleaning, Airbnb commercial cleaning, government contract, student turnover. I'm missing one. Airbnb commercial, government contract, student turnover. Shoot, I'm like, well, oh, there's two student turnover, because one of the student turnovers is like property management type, and the other one is like through like government contracting type. So that one is in that package. How do you market your business? So I normally have like Yelp, Google, and Thumbtack. When I first started, I loved Thumbtack. I know Thumbtack can be, you guys will like see, if you see any watching any of my previous videos, I talk so good about Thumbtack because Thumbtack to me is like awesome. I mean, we do multiple, I mean, my first year in Thumbtack, not knowing anything, I did like 108K. Second year we did like 170. Third year we did like 200 from Thumbtack alone. That's not including Google. That's not including Yelp. Thumbtack was able to provide us with like the fastest cash flow. And I try to tell some of the new students because they get a little discouraged when like, because it's so easy, right? And this is why I really don't talk numbers a lot in my business, of like profits and how much you. I let you know that if you do the work, you will definitely reach six figures in your cleaning company. Um, but I really don't like to talk about the numbers. I think people nowadays are so attracted to the numbers and the outcome when and not so much as like the consistency of the work. Because with those numbers that I just gave out, that was not us even closing every single lead. That is still us missing leads, not closing leads, leads choosing other service providers, but like we still made that amount of money from Thumbtack. So those are like the main areas. I always recommend Thumbtack when you're just starting off, or like Google local leads. And those are leads where like you pay like a set price per lead versus like Google ads and what is it? Google ads and Yelp is PPC, so you're paying per click, whether or not they choose you or not. Where with like Thumbtack and Google local leads, when they do contact you, you're at least capturing their phone number, so you can call them, text them, and if they don't answer, you're not able to close that lead. You still have their information to be able to market to them later. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Do you accept PayPal? No, only I don't think PayPal's an option on there. I think it's like only through like card, like debit, Visa, like all of those little stickers on the bottom of the cards. Um but yeah, so that is definitely how I recommend. And then of course, always the first thing to do is to utilize and leverage your friends and family and all the people that is in your surrounding neighborhoods and your circles. Like reach out to them and then let them know like, hey, if you are not able or not interested in one of my services, you can definitely help me by spreading the word to your circle, right? I had a friend of mine that started a cleaning company, and all she did was in the beginning, she didn't have any money in the beginning. She just emailed every single person, whether like it annoyed them or not. She emailed every single person in her email contact list like every day asking, hey, you guys, were a new cleaning company. I really appreciate it if you can send us any referrals, or if you're looking for a cleaning service. And that was how she started her business. And then after she started making some money in the beginning, then she had some funds to be able to invest in other marketing services. So definitely don't count out your circle, like your friends and family, and word of mouth. Word of mouth will always be top because it's free. It's free. What's the price for square foot for cleaning? So I like to charge a flat rate. So I do based upon the size of the home. So that is your square footage, and then how many bedrooms and bathrooms. Having the square footage is like my catch-all. So let's say if the client is like, I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, right? But all actuality, they probably have like a 4-2, and that other bedroom is a nursery or an office or a gym, but they're not counting it as a bedroom because a bed doesn't occupy the space. So the square footage is my catch-all to be able to like, okay, like you said 1,500, we're going to charge you off of the square footage. Also, it will cover like if they have like a media room or a game room. Okay, so we do square footage, how many bedrooms and bathrooms, and then the type of cleaning. So standard cleaning, deep cleaning, move in and move out cleaning, heavy duty cleaning. I talked about that in the beginning of the live. So that is how we like base our prices. So normally the standard will have like its price, and then deep clean is an additional $100. Move out is an additional 150. Like these are just broad prices, and then like the heavy duty would be like an additional 200. So it would be those prices, and then like of course how many bedrooms and bathrooms. Now another thing I like to do too is I will take that address and pop that thing in Google and make sure that they're providing me with the right bedroom count, because I have sometimes to where like the cleaner would show up to the house and like this has got to be bigger, more than the size they provided. And then we'll contact the client and let them know like, hey, based upon the size of your home, your actual price is going to be this. Now if they're like, well, we said we only gave you like this amount because we only wanted the 3-bedroom cleans in the downstairs, I'm like, okay, I can understand that, right? We do put like a note section. Sometimes most people just, I guess, not see that part. We did recently add like partial cleaning on there, so we're like they can actually select, I want 3 bedrooms, kitchen, bathroom done, because we've had that situation. Because houses here in Texas, some parts of Texas can be like your typical 3-bed, 2-bath standard home size, right? And then in some areas, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath can be 3,000 square feet because it has its office, it has a media room, it has a game room, it has a loft. And I'm like, golly. So sometimes we'll even put the address in like Zillow to check to make sure that everything is accurate. Because the last thing I want is for my cleaners to get mad. In our Dallas location, I've had my cleaners, it's 2022. I've had my same set, like same primary cleaners for the last 2 years. And they are so loyal. And because I treat them so good. Me and my husband always used to say, like, when we start business, we are going to make sure to treat our staff so good. I mean, so good. Like when we went through pandemic, I was helping in any way that I could, helping with groceries, or I mean, anything that I could help them with, and I had it, and I was trying to help them with, right? And I understand that's a extreme situation, but I treat them good. I do that by making sure we service the right clients, and they're just not walking into every crazy kind of house. I do that by charging right prices so they're getting paid well. Um, I mean, everything. I had one of my cleaners leave because she didn't feel like she was getting enough jobs. She was maybe getting like one job consistently every day, and then like maybe 2 jobs like a couple times a week. So she went somewhere else and she found out that okay, grass is not greener over there. Like she was getting more jobs, but they were smaller, dirtier apartments and houses, and that she didn't want, and she wasn't even making the amount of money. So it's always best to treat your cleaners good, right? Because your business technically depends on your cleaners, the level of work they put in, the detail, the customer service, the experience they provide. So tip, always treat your cleaners really good. Always treat your cleaners good. Okay, any other questions? You guys are popping these questions out live tonight. For those that have just joined in, I was letting everybody know that the next challenge starts on October 7th. And you guys, essentially the challenge is me teaching the course live. Once you sign up, you'll have immediate access to the course. It's a self-paced course. You're able to hop right in and start learning and start executing. and that way, you can be ahead of the game when the challenge starts. But the challenge period is basically once a week. I come on and I kind of just do an overview, and I will teach each module. And then more importantly, I add that level of accountability, a verbal push to make sure that all the tasks are being done. Because in the beginning, I was having a lot of students that were signing up, but that were not completing the task. And cleaners, like new clients, they'll be like, hey, you guys, I just had my first 1,000 week. I just had, my first couple reoccurring clients, or I just booked, this and this. And people are like, well, I haven't did it yet. And I'm like, well, why not? They're like, I just forget. So the challenge came about that way. So that way I can kind of be there to help hold some people accountable to get all the things done. I was talking to a new student, and she was like, yeah, like I'm doing 5K a week, 5K a month right now. Just reached that 5K a month. And I, oh my gosh, she was like what I was asking, like, what did you do? She was like, I just did all the things. I'm like, okay, I need to like bring you on live and let people hear that you essentially took the course, did all the things, started, applying all the steps, and within a month, you're now making $5,000 a month in your business. I was like, I don't want to say it's that simple, but if the steps are done, it's in the outcome is going to be there. So that's essentially what the challenge is about. It's just me teaching the course live and helping to hold people more accountable and just give that little virtual push, like, come on, you guys, like, let's get this stuff done. Okay. The end of the year is coming up. It's time to be about our business. How do you manage the language barrier? Lots, solely. So I currently have two VA. So we just hired like another VA. I don't have a location out there. So this is for like the done for you client. So like the done for you client, we hired a VA that is based in South America. So she speaks English and Spanish, but we do require them to be able to speak enough English to be able to communicate with the clients. So that way the client will be comfortable enough to ask questions, and then the cleaner will be comfortable enough to talk to the client. So we try to make sure that they speak enough English to communicate to the client. And if they work in a team, like for her company, we hired like a husband and wife team. The husband doesn't speak much English, but the wife does, right? So in a scenario like that, you can ask them, like, do you ever work in a team? But you want to make sure that they speak enough English to communicate to the client. Any tips on attaining the business funding for supplies when you are very new? Now, if you're referring to commercial for, well, how I teach in the course, right? My whole thing, because like I said, when I first started, I had nothing. I don't know if you guys heard my story when I first started this cleaning business. You guys, I was so broke, busted, and disgusted. Okay, like just evicted from my house. My husband was a truck driver out in Midland, working in the oil field. Had no work. He had to come back home. I just had my youngest son, and I needed a business to start that did not require any money up front. And I knew that a service-based business would be able to do that. So when I went with the route of hiring contractors, so with contractors, I required for them to have their own cleaning supplies and equipment, transportation, and insurance. So that way that cost is not put on me. So of course, I can definitely talk about building business credit off of this business because that's what I like to do. But unless you're doing commercial or unless you're wanting to do W-2, if you decide to do the 1099 route with contractors, you don't have to provide any cleaning supplies or equipment because they are. And then with you hiring the contractors, like that expense, they're able to write off because they are technically their own business, right? But now for cleaning businesses, when you just start, I guess I would probably recommend working with like a vendor account if you don't have any business credit, and if your personal credit is not up to par where you can become a personal guarantor. So if you can become a personal guarantor and they will accept PG, then you can apply for business credit based upon your personal guarantor. And basically, with your personal guarantor, you are personally guaranteeing to this company that if the business does not pay this, like I'm going to pay it, right? But with your cleaning business, most like financial institutions will require, I don't know, 6 to 9 months worth of steady cash flow in your business. I normally like to use like fintech find funding companies like Divvy. That's the only one I can think of top of my head. To where like they're able to look at your Stripe. That's why I love cleaning business, because you're able to leverage the revenue in a way that most other businesses are not able to. Sorry, it's my son. Where you're able to leverage the revenue in a way that you can't really, leverage in other ways, right? So with your cleaning business, like I said before, you're paying your cleaners a certain percentage amount, but what comes into Stripe is the whole amount. So you're able to leverage your whole revenue to be able to obtain business credit. So I mean, like you get your customers rolling in, your recurring clients rolling in, you'll definitely be able to build business credit and get access to funding fairly fast. Of course, if all your other things are done as well, right? Because you want to make sure that your foundation part is set up like tight. Like that's like the first module we talk about. You want to make sure that you have your, business license, DBA, and LLC. Because to build business credit, you will need an LLC. You're going to need an EIN number. You're going to need a bank account. You're going to need a virtual business address. You're going to need a virtual business phone number, not just like your own personal phone. Like, this is going to be my business phone number. No, like you'll need to actually put your business, like create a business phone line account. So there's so much other things that go into it. I'm actually bringing like a business attorney to come teach about like proper business formation. Is it next week? Yeah, next week. Let's see. You said your cleaners did find them. Did you find them, or are they contractors? Did you say your cleaners? Did you find them? Are they? So my cleaners are contractors. So, or ICs, independent contractors. But yeah, so my cleaners are all 1099 contractors. And normally we find them on like Facebook groups. We find them on Facebook groups, Craigslist, and Facebook Marketplace. Of course, you can do the traditional route and check on Indeed and ZipRecruiter, and Care.com is one. I think housekeepers.com is another one. Those are all like paid ways. I like to find the freeway, like, not like the freeway highway, but like the freeway. So yeah, so my top places to find cleaners is Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and Facebook groups. And like I look, and there's a whole video, like if you check out my YouTube channel, there's a whole video where I talk about like where to find one. And then next I'm gonna do like a share screen and actually like act like I'm like not like actually act like I'm looking for a cleaner, so that way you guys can see like my process. No, it doesn't have to be a lot, because how much you get how much you get approved for will depend on your cash flow. You know what I mean? So how much revenue you're able to have will depend on how much access to funding you'll get. If you can afford it, allow to put your business together. Yeah, thank you. Yes, I noticed that, a lot of people that will put their businesses together, like I understand. Like when I first did it, I did not know what I was doing, and I made it work to what I was able to work. But if I'm able to help you to actually put your business together, I'm able to do all the things the right way the first time. So it's definitely a service that I love being able to provide, and then like I'm able to really get to know all of my done for you clients. How frequently do you pay cleaners? Once a week. So I pay cleaners on a weekly basis, but the first week is held because I normally process payroll on Tuesday. So I want to make sure that over the weekend that we didn't have any no-shows, any cancellations, any discounts that need to be given out because they weren't happy with their services. Because the last thing I want to do is pay my cleaner full price and then something happened in that, that situation did not go right. So we will normally pay the week prior. Is that the week prior or the week past? I don't know if I'm saying that right. So this Friday coming up, they're getting paid for jobs they did on last week. Yes, she is one of my favorite done for yous, and I really can't wait to the Vegas one because that one is going to be really interesting to put together. Do you use a company check to pay? No, so I use Gusto. So Gusto is like my I guess you would say HR platform, and I use that for my onboarding. So when my cleaners, after they, go through all the things with the hiring process and they're ready to go, I send them a Gusto link, and Gusto is the one that's going to ask them for like their social and EIN number, their social and EIN. That way I don't have to like have access to that private information. And then they'll get like their checking account, and their address and all those things, right? So that way, even at the end of the year, that company will send out all of my 1099s. Like my first year, I was like, it was a mess. I was just like trying to calculate and find all the things and calculate it all up and then create the manual 1099 and it was a headache. So Gusto takes care of my 1099 and direct deposit. So I don't have to pay them like by check or by cash or by Cash App or by Zelle. I used to do all those things in the beginning and it was not the right way to do it. So yes, Gusto is my payroll company. How many hours? How many hours is the course? It's not. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that long. I don't know. It's like 4 main modules. But new stuff is currently being added. Like the more feedback and questions we get, is more information is being added. So for example, I just uploaded a video of me like putting together a done for you clients booking koala. So like they're watching me do the whole process, and then like I'm talking it out and reading the questions out loud. So like that was just added. So I want to say it's that long. But it covers everything from what you need to very start with all the way to the end to get ready to launch. Yes, you can finish it in the day. Definitely. I have some people, yeah, you can totally finish it in the day. Like if you have the time and you are serious about getting it done, you can definitely finish it in a day. But like, I have students that had paid for the course and they haven't even like created a login, right? It's like I can lead them to the well, but I can't force them to drink the water, y'all. Like I try my hardest to provide as much value and to be there on so many different ways and avenues, but I can't force them to drink, unfortunately. Kind of remind me of my kids. I'd be like, there's a shower upstairs, right? With running water. Can you please take a shower? I'm sorry, y'all. I have boys. I'm the only girl in the house. Okay. Any other questions before we wrap up tonight? And like I said, next week I'm going to do better. I'll actually be on at 12 p.m. tomorrow. So for anybody that just hopped on, my goal is to come on here live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time and like do like this live Q&A session, talk a little bit about like anything that may have happened throughout the week that I want to address or any kind of topic that I want to train on or any question that I get from the comments. And then I'll come in here and we'll do a live Q&A session. And then this will be saved to the channel as well. So if you ever miss a Tuesday, you'll be able to catch the replay. And then also, you guys, that course, the challenge will be starting on October 7th. If you're interested, that $97 price point will be departing. Will be vanishing, leaving, rest in peace, on October 6th. So if you are interested just to get started, like bare bone, let me just get this information out, I definitely suggest you just get in on that price point. And that will provide other ways for you to be able to have access to those other things with like different add-on costs. Now, if you want to just do the gold where you get access to everything, even the membership without having service, if you're like Jazz, like I really want this business. Oops, I lost service. And if you're like Jazz, I really want this business, but I do not have the time to do all the things or even care to do all the things, then definitely reach out for me because I do offer that special done for you package. How long do we have to access? So once you're in the course, you're in the course. So I'm not like, oh, you only get 90 days. You'll have unlimited access because I know that situations will occur in your business to where you'll have to go back to reference that. You know what I mean? Like, shoot, what was that again? Let me go back and reference that. So you'll have access to the course and to all the materials. And especially like in the new membership platform that we have, like I'm creating like this master FAQ monster thing to where like I'm literally gathering every question that has been asked on every community platform that we have, and I'm creating like video responses to the question so that way, because I understand like how important that is. Like when I first started my cleaning business, my phrase was always, I don't know what I don't know till I don't know it, right? Like all this information I was talking about earlier, like what to do with the no shot, y'all heard me. I was like, okay, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna come right now and come clean. What, girl? You tripping? Right. So now I can be able to like provide like the answer and solution when somebody like, shit, I just had a no show. What's gonna like what to happen? They can go to that master FAQ, find no show, and be able to get a response because I liked that so much. I had so many trial and error situations in the beginning. It was amazing that I made it this far, that I still have this business. Where is the done for you? The done for you is on the main website. I don't know if I click out of this, will I still? So if you visit cleaningseochallenge.com, I'm gonna put in the comments. Cleaning. I don't want to like exit out of here because I'm afraid that YouTube is like gonna disconnect. CLEANI cleaning. My glasses. I need new glasses, y'all. CEO. I think that's right. Yes. So if you visit that domain, right, that website right there, you'll be able to access all the different options. So you'll be able to see like the silver package, that's the $97 package. Then you have the gold package is currently $297, and then the done for you package, all the details and what's in there. And then also there's some new things that has been added as well that you'll be able to have access to. So definitely let me know if you have any questions. I try to always respond to as many comments as I can. Sometimes I kind of lay there, they like slip by and I don't see them, but I always try to respond back to all of you guys' comments and questions. Okay, we have 2 minutes left. Any last questions that you guys may have? And if you guys missed the beginning, I definitely recommend you guys go back and listen because I talked about what to do if you have a no call, no show, how to react to it, and how to make sure that you have things put in place to where you're proactive. And then I talked about this crazy client that tried to do a chargeback on me. And I just found out that I won the case. I was like, look here, you will not. Okay, yes, Maya, last question, love. So will we have access to all new materials for life with gold? Yes, you will. So all the new material for the government contract, student turnover, Airbnb commercial, And the Airbnb, like that was on last Friday, but the replay is already in the course. And then everything else you'll be able to get live access to, and then the replays too. What is the average cost per square foot if you want to share? There really is no average price because it's gonna depend on the area that you service. Um, where I'm at, where we mainly service in North Dallas, that price point would be different if I was servicing, east of Dallas, Fort Worth area, definitely like California or Nashville or Florida or New York. So there's really no average. There's really no average price point. I always recommend that you like search like 5 to 15 different companies in that area, like look at their price points, but not only look at their price point, look at what they offer. Do they offer instant booking? Because people will pay for convenience, right? That's why we pay for Uber and Uber Eats and DoorDash, right? We pay these crazy fees for convenience. So look at all of that when you're pricing your prices out. And I'm not saying like those companies will dictate your prices, but you're just gathering information. I mean, whether if you want to just figure out the average or you just find the happy medium, but you would definitely have to do research on the area that you're going to service to find like what that average price is. And like Florida is a different market. Like Florida is really big. I don't know if you guys saw, like my client is on here and she has her cleaning company in Florida. She's going to be servicing like all three major cities, Miami, Tampa, and Orlando, right? So Miami, we haven't even did Miami yet. Miami is going to be different prices than it will be for Tampa, and then it will be for Orlando, just because of the area, right? We have all of those high rises and condos, and I mean, the price points are gonna be different. You're welcome, Kevin. I'm sorry. I know I'd be taking one small question. I'll give you guys a whole paragraph response. I'm sorry. You guys are welcome. Okay, I will see you guys tomorrow. I could literally stay on here all night. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining in. I will see you guys on Tuesday at 12 p.m. And then also get into that Facebook group. It's CEO Cleaning Community. If you find us on Facebook, to get into that group. So, because we do also do like live training and Q&A in there bi-weekly as well. So I will see you guys later. Have a good night. Bye, y'all.